Hello, Legislator Farnhart, could you hear us okay?
Your volume just came on, so yes.
Great, thanks.
Where was them from? Okay. Perfect. All right, let's get going. You want to start recording? All right, thank you, Shen. Welcome everyone to the March 19th, 2026 Monroe County Planning Board meeting. We have several votes today, and then we have some monthly orders of business at the end. So we'll get going. We'll call roll. Bill Santos, hi. Mike Wiedemer.
Here.
Dave Watson.
Here.
Tyrese Bryant.
Here.
Elizabeth McDade. Milton Pichardo.
Here.
Victor Sanchez.
Here.
Robert Colby.
Here. Hello.
Welcome. Rachel Barnhart.
Here.
Thank you. Amy Grower. Connor McMahon.
Here.
Adrian Green.
Here.
Joe Leatherstitch.
Here.
Welcome, Joe. Jennifer Cesario.
Here.
Joe Taddeo.
Here.
Richard Chantalo.
Here.
Christina Doherty.
Here.
Sean Murphy.
Here.
And Andy Frazier.
Here.
And Yishen, would you like to introduce staff, or do we want to go around the room?
I can do a quick introduction. So we have a law department representative, Bridget Cook here, and we also have our departments, Department of Transportation, Director Price, and we also have representative from MCC. Quinn, you want to introduce your team?
Yes, Quint Rhodes, Associate Vice President of Facilities. Yeah, Craig Ross, our CFO and Vice President of Administrative Services. And Antonio Custodio, Director of Capital Planning and Project Management.
And from the planning, we have Pat Gooch, a Senior Associate Planner, and Lisa Hangtun, Clerk, and Yishen and myself here. And I think that's everyone.
Did we miss anyone? Looks like we haven't. So thank you for that, Yishen. First item on the agenda is the approval of the March 12th, 2026 meeting minutes. I need a motion for those, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. A second, Milton. Any discussion with those corrections? Hi, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, we just have a motion and a second for March 12th meeting minutes. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, guys have it. Announcements and communications.
Just earlier we saw Joe Leatherstitch. He's the new alternate for Adrian Green. Welcome, Joe. And I also want to give an update about the public comment period for the proposed 2027 to 2032 capital improvement program. We have the public comment open started on March 6th, and today is the last day. And so far, we have not received any public comments. But we do have 26 viewers for our public hearing last Thursday through the YouTube channel.
Great. That's good news. I'd also like to thank Josh Peterson from the Law Department for all his work over the years. He has left the county and got a new job, and welcome Bridget Cooper, right? So yeah, thank you. Yeah. And it's been a couple of meetings, so Sorry about that.
Please, keep working with you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right. Next item on the agenda is department CIP presentations, and we have a presentation from
MCC.
MCC. Yes, right. Welcome. Fun.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I am excited to bring the planning board up to speed on the recent update to our 2021 master plan, facilities master plan. It's important to note that this update was just that. It was an update to the plan, not a replacement. Next slide. So why do we need to do an update? The 2021 master plan successfully and effectively informed the projects that were included in the CIP from 2021 through 2026. And thank you for all your support with those projects. There are more projects in the plan that could easily fill up the next 5 to 10 years. But the 2021 plan was designed to be flexible and adaptable. So for the most part, any project in that plan can be moved and reprioritized based on urgency, availability of funding, or whatever other criteria come into play. The main driver for the recent update was that the college's strategies and initiatives really evolved since that 2021 plan was approved by the MCC board at the beginning of 2022. In that time, President Burton, she had just joined the college when that master plan was approved. Since then, Vision 2027, which is the college's current strategic plan, was introduced right after the master plan. The academic master plan, the strategic enrollment plan, and other initiatives have all kicked off after the master plan was issued. All that was okay because the plan is adaptive and flexible. So, the projects still are applicable. However, there were some other projects, new projects that were coming up as part of these initiatives that weren't in the plan and really needs to be talked about and sorted through to see how they align and whether or not things needed to be adjusted that were in the plan. So again, it's not an overhaul replacement, it's just an update. And unfortunately, that update was not able to be completed before the most recent CIP submission. Just the timing didn't work out. And that's why we put a note in our department narrative that we were working on the CIP just to keep you all aware, so you know that something more was coming, and we want to be as upfront and transparent as possible. Next slide, please. So to lead the update process, MCC hired JMZ Architects. They developed MCC's 2013 through 2018 master plan, which was the plan prior to the 2021 plan. Some of those designers from JMZ's older plan were on this team and re-engaged us for this update. Just as a side note, MCC was able to hire JMZ via a project management agreement that we have in place with DASNY, and we pay for that out of our operating budget. And the update was much cheaper than doing a full-blown master plan update. So that too. So JMZ led MCC's working group, that small core group that's referenced up there, through a phased plan to collect and assess data, review and confirm space availability and needs, and review various concepts and confirm priorities. We called ourselves a working group because the 2021 master plan already had a steering committee. We were building off of their work. So we didn't, again, this just reaffirmed the fact and reinforced that we were doing an update to the existing plan. That plan is still relevant, it still exists, and it has not been, it may be superseded by the statements in this update, but it's not replaced. So the study that we did was substantially completed and presented to the MCC board in October 25. And it was finalized in January after a few post meetings and 2 presentations to MCC Student Government Association. So we had a really broad range of input, on this effort. Lots of meetings, lots of interviews, but not as extensive as the 2021 plan, just enough to ensure that this update aligned with Vision 2027 and all the other initiatives that have come out since. Next slide, please. So what was the result of our efforts? We took a fresh look at all the initiatives included in the 2021 plan and documented their status. So the chevron key that you see there shows if the project is in planning, it's already made into the CIP, it's fully funded, if it's started, and for a few of them, if they're completed. Some of the projects did have their scope adjusted to better align with the evolved needs of the college. One example of that is a project from the 2021 plan titled Promote Visibility of Student Clubs and Organizations. That's B12, but you probably can't see it, it doesn't matter. But that project, which is not currently in the CIP, called for a renovation of the second floor of our administration building to relocate our student clubs there. Through the interview process, we learned that the clubs actually like where they are. And the main issue is that they needed better signage for visibility. So improving visibility, you don't have to move us, just get people to us, right? So we learned that. And they also need card access for their rooms. So, we got a lot of good things came out of this process. So that change alone for that project allowed JMZ to then utilize that second floor space in the administration building for the Welcome Center. And the Welcome Center project is in the CIP right now. It's currently in there, but it's in the later years of the plan. That project will need to have its funding increased, but it's essentially taking money that would have been used for that other project later, kind of pulling it forward into this Welcome Center project. Next slide, please. So the planning team also reassessed the priority level of each project. The correct criteria were priority, cost, and impact. One of the reprioritized initiatives was a project titled Improve Transit Services and Facilities. And which is being funded in 2028 of the current CIP. It was elevated from low cost, medium, high impact, up to low cost, high impact. One initiative that remained the same was the one-stop shop, which is called the Services for Students renovation in the current CIP. That remained a high priority, high cost, high impact project. And then, as a side note, the new ATC, thank you for your support on that project. We truly appreciate it. It'll be open soon. That remained as a high priority, high cost, high impact project. So the review showed that we still need it. It's still important. It's still going to change the community and provide all sorts of just amazing. That project was something pretty good. Yes, it's amazing. All right, next slide, please. All right, so another thing JMZ did was update the concept level estimates for each project. Now that may sound scary because of course they all went up, but the pain of the increased cost is not too bad. Last year with the 2026-2032 CIP submission, we escalated all of our projects to align with their construction year in the CIP. So these escalations that we see in these estimates, we don't see it's too small, but they're already built into the CIP for the most part, unless a project scope really changed. So again, that even though the projects are escalated in the latest update, we've already addressed that in the CIP where we could. Next slide, please. The last two slides list the initiatives for the Brighton and downtown campuses. At Brighton, we added 7 new projects. I won't go into detail on all of them unless you have questions after. And then, next slide, please. For the downtown campus, no new projects were added. The downtown strategy is still evolving, but it's clear that that major innovations will be influenced by new partners and tenants that we are currently collaborating with. One of the partnerships that I can discuss publicly is the one with Rochester Works. That project has come through the planning board and gone through the ledge. That project is in design right now, and that will move Rochester Works all of their operations into the 4th floor of the west side of the building. So due to the fluidity of the downtown plan, the team opted to highlight opportunities for renovations and repurposing of underutilized spaces instead of providing detailed recommendations like we did for Brighton. We need to let those partnerships develop and play out. There's plenty to do downtown that will not impact that. That's why we didn't add anything new. None of the existing projects conflict with any of the plans for the next slide, please. And that's it. Thank you for your time today. We do have a copy of the update on the screen, and I'm happy to talk about any specific projects that are in there. and get some feedback or talk about changes to projects that were already in there. That I was open the floor to questions.
Questions for Mr. Rhodes?
I have two questions. One is, just being the new person in the room, are there capital improvement projects that don't go through the CIP that are just handled by MC like directly, or do all capital improvement projects go this way?
Great question. So there are, most of our projects will go through the CIP because they're funded by both by SUNY and the county dollar for dollar. So there's always a match, and we split the cost between the two entities. There are projects that we will handle out of our operating budget. They're smaller, and we'll do that. And we can work with the contractor or work with our in-house staff to do that. So there's small capital projects. It could happen where we could get funding that is through a donation, or maybe it's just state funding where we could operate it. But we've had most success when we're able to incorporate that money that maybe not doesn't come directly from the county over to the county, and then work with our partners over at Monroe to manage the project for us.
And then could you just give like brief highlights of like how does the update to the master plan kind of tie to the strategic plan for the university? Like, what were some of those high level strategic plans and how did they align with the updates?
Sure. So we can pull up a project. If you keep scrolling, Ishan, you can go to the ATC project. Actually, I don't remember which page, but there is a page that shows which plans are impacted. Every project page shows which plans they are touched by. So if we keep on going down to, you're probably gonna be middle of the document. Even further. You want to get past the hundreds. I say it's an update and it's 200 pages. Like when you're trying to do an update on a computer right before you go home. It's the same kind of. Okay, there's one. That's a good one. So you can see there for the Celebrate Campus Gateways project, over to on the upper right where it says advancing strategic initiatives. No, like I'll wait till it's shared. So for this project, Celebrate Campus Gateways, in the upper right, you'll see each of those key initiatives that we focused on. That's okay. So each of the key initiatives that we focused on for this. Now there's other things that went into play with interviews and things, but we wanted to make sure we highlighted the key initiatives. So you can see how it aligns with Vision 2027, with Focus Forward, and the other initiatives there. When a project gets submitted or included in our CIP submission, in the back of house, we actually align each project with one of the goals from Vision 2027. So you can't see it here because we didn't include it for each project here. There's 5 directions, and I'm gonna get in trouble because I can't quote them, but there's 5 directions, and there's like 16 or 20 or so goals. Tony probably, because she's really good, but each of those goals gets referenced in our spreadsheet that we then use to feed the CIP submission. We go into the CIP app. So every project aligns with the strategic plan. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you teeing me up for that. I didn't pay him.
Any other questions for Mr. Rhodes? So could you go to those new projects?
Sure. If you,
I think they were a third of the way down or something.
yeah, I think it started with the 18.
But there were probably a dozen or so, or
Yeah, I can
10
give
to
you which
12.
highlights.
so. Are there any of those that are going to be jumping up into our 6-year plan in the next 5 years or so? That you have a
Yeah.
ballpark, you know, I have a feeling that these two here will be more important than, these will pop up
Right.
first.
So it's not a new project, but the Welcome Center project will increase in cost. So
Yeah.
that's, I think we were around 4 million for it in the current CIP, and it's probably going to jump to, let's say, 6 to 7 million.
And you're shifting money from,
Yeah, so a project that's
Yeah.
not in the CIP
Right.
now
right,
will then be added to that.
No, you said that's gonna be the place where you're gonna put the clubs, and the clubs are staying where they are, correct?
Correct.
So when you in the budget, you had the clubs remodeling fee in there to a certain degree?
No, it's not in the CIP yet. So that project, because it was a lower,
It wasn't even there, okay.
yeah, so it was not in the CIP yet. It was
Okay,
a
'cause I was
Okay.
wondering if you're lowering, if you had some cost savings there because you didn't, but it's not, wasn't everything.
No, it's play money that we want to spend. That's all in the CIP that just has moved around in that future.
so that's gonna bump up.
That one will bump up. And, we haven't planned out what will be the next big project to enter the CIP yet. Because we really need to focus on property preservation money too and get that. As far as,
Has that really been the higher priority based on the way things, the conditions of the
yeah, so
building?
you're asking a facilities
Yeah.
person, yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Okay.
the biggest need.
Okay,
We do, but
Yeah.
we also need to have, new classroom space, because that does draw
Right.
in and increase enrollment. We have a huge need to renovate the faculty towers on campus, but that is a big number.
Yeah.
Those projects are about 40 million.
Yeah.
So,
and those are 5, 6, 7 stories, right?
yes,
Yeah.
but what's nice about those projects is when we do it, the deferred maintenance costs for the entire campus go down significantly, because those 2 towers have some of our highest deferred maintenance needs.
Hmm.
So we're getting a tremendous value on our dollar if we do a renovation of those spaces, and they answer a number of needs within the CIP to create active learning spaces, better gathering spaces, improving the lecture halls. There's a number of wins in those projects, which is why we didn't shy away from it when doing the update, because we need it documented. We need people to know that, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
And, maybe someday a donor will come along and help us out, but right now it's, those have to be documented. Looking at this to see if there's one that I really believe will become the next priority. We do have a study going actively to consolidate the health and wellness services programs. And if funding is found via a grant or a donor or someone else, however that plays out, that could be the next one to enter. That study is underway. It's a study that we, again, used our DASNY project management agreement and paid for the study out of operating, so that we can then bring a more fully formed project and integrate that into the CIP. That is a tremendous project if we can do it.
That's a program that you consistently fill for decades, right? I mean, it's limited
That's the nurse program.
nursing and.
No, oh, sorry. No, this is, I don't want to.
I didn't think it was.
Oh, which one is this?
Yeah, health and wellness. This is more counseling, disability services.
Oh, I see.
Health services for students, recreational programs. So
Okay.
it's the student life side or student affairs.
I see.
Every once in a while, but
Okay.
that side of the house. And we have a tremendous need, and it's important to our students, and they are heavily, they're always busy, and they're always putting on events. And right now they're spread all over the campus, so they really want to consolidate. And in the perfect world, be closer to our recreational spaces too, like the Rec and Ed, because there's all these other links between what they do and academic programs. So there's a strong desire to move them closer together, but there's no space, if we're looking at Tetris or whatever. Like there's nowhere to put them until you do a renovation and someone else, so it's, but that's why we're doing the study to find out what is the most cost effective way to do that, as opposed to, hey, you got to build an addition. Like, well, we
Yes.
probably don't. We can renovate spaces.
Any other questions for Mr. Rhodes?
I get just one quick one. So, out of the 12 new projects, is that right?
7.
70 projects. Are there all new or some of these projects will include infrastructure? So HVAC, electrical, or they're mainly just gonna focus on the new ones? And if you are doing work on an existing facilities, are you including some of the infrastructure work? Sometimes I cannot just do a room here. I may have to sprinkle the entire wing or bring it up to code.
Yeah.
Are those things included in the?
Yes. So great question. And whenever we do a renovation of a space, especially if it's a capital project, we try to upgrade as much of the infrastructure as we can in that space. We have to be cost effective about it, because it's not always, it's that simple, but we do try to tie that into each project, similar to what I mentioned for the towers. That project would include major infrastructure upgrades. So they're separate of these kind of program-related initiatives. In the plan, it does talk about some of the deferred maintenance. It's not, we didn't do a full facility condition assessment for this, but there are some of the infrastructure deferred maintenance projects which they identify in the update that we would do with property preservation funding. So, like I said, back to your original question, though, we do try to integrate as much of that into the capital project because it costs so much less to do it while we're doing a major capital upgrade.
Anything else? Anyone else? Elizabeth, you good? All right. Great, thank you.
Thank you very
Very
much.
good.
Appreciate your support.
Yes.
I just want to add that, so this the facility master plan, the recently updated, finished, right fresh is January 2026. I sent the link, downloadable link. So I will resend the link again. So if you want to read through it, and
Okay.
there's some great information.
Thank you. What page is this? Oh, 107.
So these are the recommendations
Yeah.
of the Brighton. So this is Brighton campus, and they
Yeah.
also have a section just for the downtown campus.
Yeah.
So it's,
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. All right. The next item is, let's see, respond to board questions from prior meetings.
prepare, last week or a couple of weeks ago, some of the board member asking about how Monroe County CIP compared to other counties, comparable counties,
Oh, yeah.
and have prepared some additional information.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So, as Ishan brings these to the screen, I want to caution everyone on the reliability of what you're going to see. And I say that to draw my own inadequacies, but more importantly, the inadequacy of the data that I found in various county websites. So first of all, I thought this was a perfect task for AI to complete, pulling in numbers from a bunch of different websites. It failed miserably. We apparently have a $1.5 billion capital improvement program for the year 2026, according to AI. Anyways, so long story short, don't trust AI.
Yeah.
Second story is that this is a comparison of the top 10 CIP counties in New York State. They are vastly different from us in many ways. Some are more similar than others, as you can imagine. When Ishan brings it up, you'll see we have 10 counties: Suffolk, Westchester, Nassau, Erie, Monroe, of course, Onondaga, Orange County, Rockland, Albany County, and Dutchess County. In that order in terms of population, which often corresponds with the budget for both their operating budget and their capital improvement program. So what you see on the screen here, and there's 4 of these, so we'll go through them a little bit slowly, is details per each community. So I'm going to use Erie County to demonstrate what's going on, just because it's a place we all know pretty well. Population is on the right-hand side there, 955,034 people. The overall adopted budget for 2026 is $2.28 billion. The capital budget for the year 2026 is $102 million. And then you can see in that donut chart, we have a 4%, the capital budget year is 4% of their overall adopted budget. with the remaining 96% being the operating budget. So as I mentioned, these counties are very different population-wise, what they do, what facilities they have, what their operating goals are. And so what I tried to do for the board is use a per capita metric, which isn't great because we know that really the finances of a county isn't per person, it's based on property valuation and sales tax. I did not have the time to pull that together in a way that could be sensible for you. But at least it's some sort of metric that you can use to compare in terms of spending per person per county. So the first number there, that's $2,391 is the spending per person on the adopted budget. And then below that, $107 is for the capital budget year. So you can see it varies per county. If you look at this, Suffolk County not only has a bigger budget, but also has more spending per county. Kind of makes sense. They're a wealthier county than we are in many ways. You can say the same about Westchester County and Nassau County. But I think that goes more to my point about property valuation. We know property valuation in those communities is a lot higher than it is here, just because of the location and proximity to a variety of different things that raise property value. The other thing I want to note is that the cycle, we have a 6-year cycle. It's pretty typical for most communities. It is not identical for every community that we'll see. Some communities have 2-year cycles. I think Nassau or Westchester had that. Some communities have 5 years. Some communities, I believe, it may have been Rockland County, has a 5 or 6 year program, but only has numbers for the first 2 or 3 years, and then zeros on after that. It's kind of hard to compare. What I want to point on this, let's go to the second slide. Yeah, here we go. Here's Monroe County, of course, top left corner. Onondaga County is Syracuse. That's on the right-hand side. They have just under half or just over half the population of us. You'll see they have pretty significant numbers up there. For all of you paying attention to what's going on in Onondaga County, there is a large state project related to the Micron chip facility. Onondaga County is betting on itself and has increased its CIP by a considerable amount in the last couple of years. Its 10-year average is more in line with what we would expect, which is $733 million. But because they believe that there are significant infrastructure needs that need to come before the Micron plant is complete, they are doing a very generous CIP budget year. As you can see, $627 million. That is largely bonded money for infrastructure improvements that are going to occur in the county.
How much of these dollars, all county dollars, or does state dollars and federal dollars run through this?
So this is similar to ours, where it's going to include state dollars, local dollars, federal dollars. I was not able to break that down. So if you
Onondaga got some pretty big federal dollars recently,
yes, absolutely.
and that's like because they're improving their sewer and their water for the Micron.
Yep, absolutely.
Am I wrong, or aren't they rerouting 81?
That is that likely
That would be a
could be
state
baked
road.
into the project, because that is a federal project, but I don't know, Tom, if you know if that's in their tip. We wouldn't really know. So that could be a part of it as well, which is why I want to caution you again, this data is instructive, not to be taken with any sort of veracity. As I mentioned, Rockland County has zeros after 2028, even though they have a 5-year program. Let's slide to the next slide, please. Albany County, I questioned their data because it was not really available after 2025. So this 2026 data was pulled from news articles and other things. I don't know that their CIP budget year is actually only $10 million, but I do believe they go on what some of the counties call more of a pay-as-you-go philosophy, which is if they don't have the money, they don't bond. And so that really depends on the community. And then is there anything else I'd like to note? We can go to the last slide.
So this is only bonded money.
No.
Oh, it includes cash capital.
Just like our county's adopted budget, which includes both the capital budget and the adopted budget, includes all of those pieces.
Okay.
But once again, I did not break that out in any way that we can dive into. And I already provided the note about Albany County. And then just on the bottom is a chart showing all the numbers so you can kind of see what's going on. As I mentioned, really operating budget, capital budget year and adopted budget generally falls in line with the population of the county based on what I could find. I'm happy to take questions. I can't provide you much more because we don't really have much more data. What I was able to pull together this quickly was about as much as we could get without doing some intensive work.
Well, thank you for doing that. Any questions for Patrick?
Mike, does that answer the call of your question? I can't remember it
It does.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good perspective.
Could you go up this one slide?
Yeah, Ishan, yeah.
Over here. So yeah, and remind me what the 7%?
So that is the capital budget year. So that represents $109 million. And then the adopted budget is in the middle with $1.57 billion. So 7% plus 93% get you to that total.
Yeah.
Other than the comparison, which is great, are you looking into getting deeper into see what's working with some of this capital investment and what can we use or what have they done that maybe we're doing and maybe it's not going so well when it comes to investment? Like why are we, other than comparing, what are we learning from?
What are we learning from this?
Yeah, I asked a question on how do we compare with other
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so
that's
just
what.
really comparison, okay.
Yeah.
It was just
so-
to answer really the board's question,
Yeah,
to
Okay.
identify how are we similar or
Oh,
not
yeah.
to other counties
Yeah.
in terms of our capital spending?
Okay,
yeah, that's all. It was,
I will say I feel more comfortable about our capital program than I did before this research, based on what I found in other communities.
yeah, no, I see.
yeah,
Do a lot more with lower percentage.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like the data's better.
It certainly is. I
Right.
mean, there are other communities that have good data that is easily accessible. Other communities do not have that.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Thank
Any
you.
questions
Yeah.
for Patrick? That was useful.
And we can share those slides as well, but once again, they're
Yeah.
instructive, not to be used for
Yeah.
homework.
I wouldn't trust the other slides. Yeah. The only numbers I trust are ours. But it's okay. It's, a gut check. The next item, if no one has any other questions on that, next item is to close the public comment period for the proposed 2027 through 2032 CIP. And I need a motion for that, please. Moved. Thank you, Tyrese. Is there a second? Thank you, David. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, the ayes have it. Thank you. All right, next item. Item 4 is to vote to recommend the proposed 2027 through 2032 capital improvement program to the county executive. I need a motion for that, please. Mike, thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Any discussion on the proposed CIP? I want to say thank you to everyone involved, all the departments, Patrick, planning department. I mean, you could tell by the previous slides that we have a decent handle on what we're doing. So, and the information's out there. It's transparent. So thank you to all the departments and to keep the community safe and infrastructurally, the integrity of the infrastructure there. So, anyone else? Well, hearing no other discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Thank you for all that hard work, everyone. Next item. Item 5 is the priority vote. And I need a motion. This sheet here was, did we email this out?
We did, yes.
We did. Okay, so this was emailed and you have a hard copy in front of you. And I need a motion for this priority vote, please.
So moved.
Thank you, David. Is there a second? Jennifer, is that you? Oh, Elizabeth. Thank you. Sorry. What's that? Great. Patrick, do you want to discuss this thing?
So thank you for everyone for voting. I appreciate your time and attention to detail with this. As we do every year, your board's responsibility is to identify the 2027 priority projects and rank them according to what you believe is important. We then aggregate those numbers and present to you a table that shows them in order from, I believe this year it's 1 to 79. As you already know, the 2027 year capital budget year is about $115 million. Various funding sources are lined up to facilitate that over the next year. With that, it is now your prerogative to identify whether you think this priority voting list is exactly as it should be, or if you think that there should be changes to be made. And you'll note that if you look to the far right, a lot of the numbers are similar. That is because of the way it votes, the average comes out. So if you desire, we can move and shift things around to identify maybe there's two top projects that are both at 1.86. If you think one is more important than the other, we can make that number one and make the other number two. Or if you think that it's good as it is based on the priority average and the funding, we can keep it as it is. So I will leave that to the board, but I can answer questions in terms of which projects which or anything that you would like to discuss.
Two things. One, we rank this every year.
Yep.
It's, as long as I've been around, it's never had to be implemented
Correct.
because it's only if something blows up financially. I thought maybe you came close, maybe during the COVID. You must have come close during that. I wasn't here those 2 years, but that might have been close years. But there was a lot of federal dollar coming in, so it probably didn't affect. The other?
Yeah, oh, sorry, just during COVID, we kind of halted a lot of current projects. But we
Because you
didn't,
couldn't do the job.
well, there was a lot, yeah, but we didn't we didn't stop or not do,
Right.
take things out.
We met over Zoom. I remember running the meetings.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
county
yeah. Funding. Yeah.
Operations
Yeah.
and projects, some of the projects got put on hold, not because of the funding issue, because of mechanics of getting stuff done at that time.
Yeah.
So this isn't getting tied up with ranking one over the other one, really, unless there's a really burning one, it wouldn't be
Right.
that important. The other question is more of a statistics issue, question. I wonder if sometime, and you don't have to do it, how much difference there is between average and the mean. The means would tell you if there's a lot of people one side or the other way, where an average doesn't, it's nice to look at mean and average.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not a big thing because I think this is only a doomsday scenario that this would go into effect.
Sure.
I guess I was saying that more for the new people.
Right. And
If
it
it is doomsday,
Yeah.
golf equipment needs to go up because I gotta be able to golf. I'm buying a big municipal golf course.
funny.
I was hoping
Well,
it was down.
The course.
One more than I wanted.
Gotta get my GDP up. Have it looking better than it is.
I was gonna say, after the DOT presentation last week, I thought DOT would be like. Here.
Anyone see anything that they see as like maybe a marketing or public appearance that might need to be moved up or down?
Well, can we clarify? I mean, just because it's
Yeah.
one, if there's a funding line, it doesn't necessarily mean it's 1 through 10. You can go 1 through 9 and skip to 12. Can you? Or is it literally?
Oh, yeah,
No, the county, it's just a reference. The
Right.
county is
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
of how we
Right.
feel.
The legislature funds it, so they
So it's
could
not a
say,
literal thing.
oh, money came in for this project down here, let's do that one, they could approve it.
Right.
So, right,
It's a guide.
yeah, it's a guy, that's all,
It's
so,
a guide.
Yeah.
And the reason they ask you guys for that guidance is typically you guys look at, projects even from a different set of eyes than us legislators.
Yeah.
Hopefully a more non-biased eyes.
from a community standpoint,
Right.
yeah, which is, you know, why each one of us is on the board, we have a background and we must look through it, through those lenses.
Right.
Yeah. All right, well, that reminds me, I think I mentioned that the water plant came before us years back and it was at the bottom. It was literally like two for where the golf course was, right? So, that one didn't look so good. We brought
Yes.
it up halfway, so. Go ahead, Mike.
You know, one quick question that would have been better suited for the presentation 2 weeks ago, but it just hit me today. Historical context of state and federal funding. Past decade, are there that many instances where the funding from either of those two governmental levels fell through on a project?
Not in the near term years, but if it's a project that's out 3 or 4 years, sometimes that funding in the state has been more volatile than, because a lot of times those outside year funding, I could be wrong, some of those are member item type fundings.
No, I think that to Legislator Colby's point, I think because this is the next coming year, usually those projects are moving along, even if they haven't been adopted in our CIP. So therefore, you know, DOT has made sure that they're in their various planning documents that are with the federal government and the state. And so I think that those next years don't typically fall through because they're the plans that have been made for a while now.
Yeah.
For other things, it would really depend on what's going on. I know that grant funds can change depending, but a lot of the capital projects don't have significant grant funds. They're more of a aid that is built in based on a formula through DOT, the airport, things like that.
Yeah. Because I've often, when I've voted on this ballot over the years, often discriminated against projects that have a lot of federal and state funding, presupposing that it's not going to fall through. So like, you know, I love the airport, I love runway 28, but I probably pushed that one down on my ballot in part because I was thinking of this from a county funding perspective.
Any other? Elizabeth, you good?
Absolutely fascinating process.
Okay. Victor?
Almost up there.
Yeah.
Thank you for the constant reminder. No,
But everyone voted, so thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Old guy figured out how to use your computer.
Well, to find where I was supposed to go, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that much. Like, I was
100%.
Like, it's too late, like.
That's fine.
100%.
Mostly.
Okay.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, well, hearing no other discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Thank you, everyone, for voting. Okay, we have action items today. Item 6 is to amend, 6A, sorry, is to amend the 2026 through 2031 capital improvement program and the 2026 capital budget to add a project entitled Arundecoy Fire District Emergency Signal in the amount of $260,000. I need a motion for that, please. Richard and Sean is second. Richard. Great, and we have a presentation. Ishan, who's gonna present? Okay.
Didn't give up on you last week, so.
Yes.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Basically what's going on with this project is Ridge Culver Fire Station reached out to us. And they were looking for help because when they exit the station with their lights blaring, traffic's not stopping. And that's obviously a huge concern for them because, you know, obviously having accounts. So we went with them, we met with them. The intersection of Ridge and Culver actually has a fire preamp that they could push the button on to at least change that light,
Okay.
but it wasn't working.
Oh,
So that was at least one positive thing we found by meeting with them.
yeah.
So we fixed that light, but determined that something more needs to be done. So through the administration, we were able to procure a SAM grant through DASNY for $260,000 to install a signal.
Wow.
So we're gonna do kind of an incremental thing where first we're gonna put up some sort of like fire station lights, warning lights on either end of the fire station while we work through the design for the signal. And then once we get to the signal, we'll install the signal in 28. Is that a county road or a state road? Culver's County. That portion. Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Fries?
Obviously, during the time period that it becomes fully installed, we'd be doing evaluations on the number of events through that intersection to see how that's going to impact the overall efficacy of the fire department.
I'm not quite following. I mean, we've reached out to the fire department. We know how many calls they
Okay,
get.
okay,
So
so
we have reached out to them. We have those numbers.
so they're aware that with those numbers, a new signal will help.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I would almost say just one event is sufficient, right? Just one time that a fire truck can get out there without getting stopped or something else would be
It's gonna
sufficient.
help some.
Yeah.
Or an accident, they're
Right.
pulling out.
Yeah.
Tough intersection, the whole area is so congested.
So it's gonna be on flash normally.
Until they press the button.
Yeah.
Then when it-
Right.
then
When there's an
the
emergency.
color,
Right.
turn red.
Yep. Yeah. Any other questions for Mr. Fries? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Let's have it. All right, next item on the agenda is item 6B. And that is to amend the 2026 through 2031 capital improvement program and the 2026 capital budget to add a project entitled Bridge Preventative Maintenance 2028 in the amount of $241,500. I need a motion for that, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Robert. Tom, you're back up.
All right, thank you. Yeah, this is a project that we have to add because the TIP schedule differs from the CIP schedule, so that's why it wasn't originally included. Basically, this project is federal aid, so we're only gonna wind up paying 5% of the cost for this project. Basically, we're going to be rehabilitating 3 separate bridges, concrete repairs, waterproofing membrane, painting of girders, things such as that. So it's Main Street on Churchville, there's one in Brighton and Crittenden and Woolston and Perrin, so.
Are any of these projects going to cause traffic rerouting temporarily?
Detours should not be needed. We should be able to maintain traffic.
It's something we don't,
Yeah,
we always get asked. is that-
yeah, no, there's not, none of this is super major. So I would not think so, but until we get into design, I can't promise. But I would suspect at this point, no.
These are all bridges or some of them culverts?
Should all be bridges. Yeah, they should all be bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all bridges.
You know, that, you've heard that story.
Any other questions for Mr. Fries? The ratings on these are still decent and they can be just renovated versus,
Yes, yeah, we're fortunate enough in Monroe County where our bridges are in relatively good shape compared to other counties. Our culverts are another thing, but our bridges are in pretty good shape.
But you do have a color program annually, so. Yeah.
With that.
Can you remind us on the rating system, there's two, right? There's, the state has one for bridges and the county has a rating system, right? It was like 1 through
Yes.
7.
Yes, 1 through 5, yeah, yes.
Okay, 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Okay. And counties is 1 through 5, is that? Right.
Honestly,
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that's all right.
We
Just,
go out, we look at the numbers, we do our
Right.
inspections, the state does their inspections.
Okay.
State inspects them every 2 years, we inspect every 4 years.
oh, okay.
So they inspect all of our bridges as well as, so it's,
Oh, do you contract that out? Or
Yeah, why do we have two different people inspecting?
I like that actually. Two sets.
yeah, well, we like to get eyes on what our infrastructure is
Yeah.
because it helps us.
So your inspection is also more of a planning inspection.
Yes, and we also don't get into it as much as the state does. Like the state actually gets personnel lifts. They actually look underneath bridges. We don't, I can't do that. Me and my
Yeah.
staff, we can't do that. So
Yeah.
we have to heavily rely on the state inspections. And then we just go out there and kind of visually take a look at what we can see just to get an idea of the ratings.
Okay. And you have the state's rating in hand when you're out there, right? It's, or is it?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the previous ratings we have. When the state does go out and look at their bridges and it looks at their infrastructure, if there's anything that's got the red flag, they immediately notify us.
Okay.
We have within a certain amount of time where we have to respond based on what the red flag is. If it's something critical, we have to address it or close the bridge.
Yeah.
Like we did on Gillette Road there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, some of it's like silly stuff, like there's a high mast light pole and it's missing a cover for the electric, so you
Yeah.
just gotta re-put a cover on.
Sure,
It's silly
sure.
stuff, but
Yeah.
it gets flagged.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Fries?
What detail of a report you get back for every bridge?
From the state?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty detailed.
I was wondering the same thing, the pictures of the, oh, okay.
There's pictures, they look at the joints, they look at the rust, they look at the holes in the beams, they look at pavement, curbing, scuppers, yeah, that's,
You say they do it every 2 years, they do, 1 year they don't do any, and next year they're here doing all our bridges, or do half and half?
it's a revolving project.
Yeah,
They're
So they're doing
continuous,
some
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, it's continuous, yeah.
Okay.
that sounds.
And they hire
More manageable.
consultants to do it.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah.
the state themselves.
Okay,
They local consultants,
Yes,
local Monroe County consultants.
yes.
great questions. Good answers. Thank you. Any other questions? Robert, you good?
I'm good.
Okay. All set. All right, hearing no other questions, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you.
Motion is approved. Thank you, Tim. Any other business? From board members? Well, hearing none, do you know if we have any items next week?
Then for next week.
Okay, great. So,
If I don't receive anything, we don't receive anything for the floor, I will send out a cancellation next 2 weeks, 2
Great.
days.
are you here next week? Cause I'm not.
I can, yep.
Okay. All right, perfect. So,
Hopefully we,
yeah,
can give a
right.
break.
If you see something,
Got it.
the mic's running the meeting, so.
And I want to concur with Chairman Sento earlier. Thank you all the board members for this month for your hard work and
Yeah.
participation and coming in. Thank you.
Yeah, it seems like you've got the process streamlined and the gears are greased and that's it. It's moved. It's good. So
Trained on its track.
it's right. That's it. That's important. Yeah. So our next scheduled meeting is likely, if next week's canceled, is likely April 30th at our normal 3:30 time here. So I need a motion for adjournment. Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a second? And yeah, Mike, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.